Early morning, my good peoples. All right, I'm in a cheerful mood today as we get ready for Friday trading. Wanted to give you guys a heads up. This YBIT is looking pretty good. I like what the fund managers are doing. So, and I see a little bit more because BITO's so and Bitcoin is so volatile and can be, but the upside's so big. I like what they did with rolling. They had to roll out of the 29, and it cost them about $500,000. So we don't show any trades here because basically they're all over in the synthetics. They didn't do any additional call positions. So let's go look at both the new synthetic that they rolled out of and the 29 that they closed a day early. So here is the closing of the 29 strike price. It was due to expire today, but they rolled it yesterday. So let me update this to 15. So, oh, that's a good idea. Let's just go back and do one quick housekeeping. So what happened with BITO and what happened with YBIT, our yield max fund? So we went down 1.3%, right, from 2684. Look at the big jump there from the day before. It was up 745, right? We were only up 135, but now today with them down 1.3, we were up 1.44, right? So we're trading at 1976. Now, I really like YBIT here. I think you'll be pleased. I wrote a little on my thumbnail about 250 because I wasn't seeing it before, but I clearly see a path there now. So getting out of this one cost us, if you look at 558 minus 2,000, it cost us 556,000, right? So we took a hit there because we had 357,000 in profit. But when we closed this out, and the big problem was we were at a 29 strike price, right? And we were only at 26.49, but that's up substantially from the 24 and 25 prices we've been hanging around lately. So we had this gain showing in April, and now in May we took this hit. So let's go over at holdings over to payment. I like to go back and forth. So although we're only paid in June, and I'll end up removing this column and I'll just leave it all in May, the final part of May, I can show it in June right now. So I'm just sort of using that space. So what happened was this took a big hit when I first put in the 558 loss, but let's go look at what they did. They created a new synthetic, which is normal, and they went out to June. I made this, but I didn't update every field, so now they're all updated. All right, so they went out to the same month, right? Now notice all the single stock funds are going out to 7/19. So this is more of them just using 1 month, because when Bitcoin runs, it really runs, right? And BITO is just Bitcoin futures, right? And so this is positioned and sold as an income strategy fund for Bitcoin, right? Because it mimics BITO, which in turn in the futures market mimics BTC. So it's a direct play and a derivative of a derivative, right? Because BITO pays a dividend, but since we don't own the underlying, we only mimic it with options, we don't get any BITO dividends. But I think we're going to beat BITO pretty handily this month if it does what I think it'll do. But hey, let's see that. I own some BITO, right? Before I ever bought YBIT, I had some BITO and I still own the BITO. And that dividend's been going up. So we'll see. I think it paid $1.48. And the previous month was the first time it made it to $1. But I'm looking at a potential here based on some BTC charts that we could have 250. Again, some things have to happen, but I think the fund managers have set us up. So let's look at this, set us up for positive. So when they roll, they put the same number of contracts, right? And by going out, right, to 35, they'll get killed if BITO stays at 26 or 27 and they got to go to June and buy it back, right? Now, this time premium will have decayed, but from 26 to 35, right, that would be $9. But we received, we being the YBIT fund, you know, $10.21 on a 35 strike because we're trading in the 26 range, right? So you got $8.50 that would be your actual premium that you're under 35, and the other would be the month. So I'm thinking about selling some of my own in my account besides owning YBIT, just going out and putting on my own synthetic. Because at these prices and margins, it's not crazy like Coney or like Coin and Mister. So I'm looking at it pretty closely at the moment. But just thought I would share some of that with you. So again, it's sort of like we get paid that right away, but we also have to perform to get rid of that, right? But can you imagine if we flew up to 33 again, right? Then all of a sudden, if we did that soon, this would go up in value to $1 or $2, right? Because it's still underneath this, but with the time premium, and this would drop tremendously. This would drop to a -2, right? So we wouldn't be hurt on it long term on our paper, but we've already captured all this. So anyway, just thought I would share how this really works, right? So let's go to our weeklies. The only place we have a negative right now, since we didn't put any new strike calls on for next week yet, but we're setting on a 25.50. Well, we're at 26.50 in BITO, a penny away. So we got to buy that back, right? And we collected 102,000 for this guy with the 3,000 contracts, and we collected like 6,000 for this one. So let me go show you in the holdings what that's going to do to us, right? So here's this new synthetic. So on paper, we're showing this loss, right? But we collected all of that $10.21, and we had sold it for, or we bought it for 22, and now it's only worth 21, right? No, on the call, minor. So I don't worry about that one because we got a full month out there. We're actually making a small profit now on our 26 because we're trading at 26.40. I haven't updated these, so ignore these for the moment, okay? Everything else is updated. We're still at 425,000. I don't know why people aren't buying this. Maybe after I put my 250 early prediction on here, people are going to take notice. You know, we'll see if I can have a Bruce effect here. But I think this thing is positioning itself very well. And I like the inverse head and shoulders that Bitcoin, or yeah, that BTC is showing. So the other piece, this is where I was talking about. So right now, because we're $1 ahead, you know, that's 304,000. We only collected 100,000. We've already collected that, right? So we got to go spend 300,000. Now, this could drop, but what's it going to drop to? Maybe 26. In the pre-market, it's already up to like 26.95, right? We're flying in the pre-market, which is everything I'm seeing. We're setting up for a run in Bitcoin here. I've got 66,360. So that's up 915, right? I don't know about for the close of the day, but I can pop that chart up and show you guys since I'm only doing these one fund at a time videos. I did my Misty, I'll do Coney a little later. So anyway, that's the scenario. I'm not too worried about this 314, right? Because I know what it's also going to do to the synthetic. if we move up, we're going to start making a lot more money on this one, and then eliminating any of this loss and being able to keep that big. So let's go take a look. Okay, so that's holdings. This is that weekly again that I was telling you about, right? But the rest of the stuff is positive. They were down a little bit here and we were up, and yesterday they were up and we were down on YBIT to BITO. Implied volatility is going up. That's going to pay greater premiums. So let's navigate over. So you see the cash has gone a little nuts here. You know, you see a 860 of 648. That's all from closing out one position, taking a small loss, getting a big gain of 2 million, right? So they're doing all the things they need to do. That's why I said when I really examine in this latest trade, I see exactly what they're doing. And pure Bitcoin is a different animal than a stock. I mean, this is closer to MSTR. You're seeing how Misty's running, but it's capped. Well, I think these guys aren't going to get capped. They got capped on these, but I'd like to see them write some new 524s substantially higher, out to 27 or 28, depends on what the trading day brings. But take a look at this now. So we roll the 29 strike into a new 35 strike. So we collected 2 million. I showed you that. Or $4.86 a share. We already had some gain, right? But this was hurting us because we had to attribute the 5 million loss, right? Or 558,000. But then when I put the 2 on, it took it positive. So at one point we had like a small gain here, and we had a loss after we got out of the 26. But now with that 35, so even if we move through the month and we don't, if we run in BITO and Bitcoin underneath causes BITO to run, which will call YBIT to run, all we need is those synthetics, because they're 621, to capture a lot of money. And since this fund is paying for the first time, my guess is it will be half of what this is. So if we maintain this $5 gain and maybe improve it, we could get half of that payment. They would keep the other half in reserve, right? So I think it's going to be hard to capture much weeklies going forward if we run in Bitcoin, like I think is very possible. So anyway, I thought I would share that part, because what's going to happen, this 300K is going to knock this guy down, right? It's going to take away the 257. And then we're going to have, you know, maybe a plus 2 cents. You know, we want these to be negative numbers. Negative is positive. That's the 2024 accounting. But anyway, it's just how these are done with debits and credits. So, with no money to pay out of the short call income, then they'll pay us out of the synthetic, right? And so that's what I'm seeing, $2. Now I'm seeing a possibility of 250. Heck, this thing could get to 3 if we surge up to 29 or something, right? You see 29 in there, then that 26 is going to get real profitable, right? This guy is just going to go up and up, right? At 29, this thing in another 3 weeks time, it's going to be 50 cents. And then this at 29 is going to be a minimum of 3. So all of a sudden we're going to be making money here, whether we take any off the table or not. But what we'll probably do is we will write more calls here. We'll add to our 35, and every time we write one, since we're even at 29, we're only going to pay a small bit here, and we're going to sell it for good money. And then this loss is also going to shrink because we're moving up. So anyway, I just wanted you to know my excitement around this. Again, it's predicated on, you know, if you're bullish. I think some of the other things, this is a new fund. We're not getting the shares. I think it needs to be contrasted to, you know, BITO itself. The BITO has been around a long time. It didn't pay much, but the last few payments It's paid more. It has a pretty loyal following, but I think YBIT's going to beat it, just because I think EOMax's situation and their operational capability with their synthetics and their weekly calls is superior to probably the futures trading. I'll have to see. It'll be really interesting because they declare a few days before EOMax, they being BITO, but they tend to pay on the same date. Like I got paid on the same date of BITO that if YBIT was paying, I would have been paid. So we'll have to see, but that's probably worth a video. And there's some other, there's no loss of ETFs out there for Bitcoin. Okay, that's what I got, guys. I hope this helps, and hope you have a great day ahead and a weekend ahead. So this is Bruce out. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please always consult a professional financial advisor. This is for fun and education. Okay, have a great one. Bye.